It is time, once again, to lock your doors, shut your windows, strap yourself into your favorite comfy chair, and tune out and tune into The Naked Zombie.
G'day boys and girls, and thank you for joining us again on The Naked Zombie with The Naked Debate. I am your host Brad Scott, and it is an absolute pleasure to have you all joining us tonight, listening to us go on as we do with The Naked Debate. Anyway, joining me tonight, I have a full house. I actually have Andrew.
G'day.
He finally made it in because Daddy gave him the car. Aren't you a lucky boy?
Lucky.
Yeah. I'll show you how lucky you are later. Liam, how are you, mate?
Good. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and of course, Wadsy.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here.
I'm sure you're glad to be anywhere.
If you've got a full house, that means you got all your marbles?
No, I left them a long time ago.
All the sheep are in the paddock?
Get stuffed. Anyway,
all
we
the
are...
sausages are in the pack?
Oh, you done?
Never done, mate.
All right, so listen, I'm really happy to say, look, the show Naked Debate is really good. People actually have made a lot of comments regarding Liam's history knowledge, which is fantastic, and I'd like to hear more history. I think that's great. But first things first, we got a question that came in. It's really quite an interesting one. It's from Garth Herbert. Garth wrote, "Hi guys, just a bit more info on a case of possible possession. Things have been a little strange with the guys that." Oh God, sorry guys, I have to excuse me. I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah, it is like you're in the news. Okay, so again. Hi guys, a bit more info on the case of possible possession. Things have been a little strange with the guys. That has happened to seems to be a little depressed and not his normal self. Just wondering if this is like so-called paranormal hangover. People get it when ghost hunting, or could it be different? Would love to find out what anyone else and what your teams have come across this kind of thing, or if you guys have heard of it. Cheers, and that's from Garth Herbert. So, guys, I mean that's an interesting topic to start off right off the bat, because seriously, this is something that has been going around for a long time now, with people who have thought they've had sort of. You guys right? Mm-hmm. You all looked at the door at the same time.
Mystery banging all of a sudden.
Mystery banging going on.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling a thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't. This sounds like an episode of Hobo Bill. All right, so...
More to come on that.
Yeah, more to come on that. Now, guys, so what we're talking about, that we know of people in the field itself who've gone through depression and stuff like that, regarding they get so involved in the paranormal, they go investigation. It does affect some people certain ways. I've experienced it myself, where I've been in moments where I really didn't know where I was after investigation, because, you know, it does take a lot out of you. There's been a lot of different people I've spoken to over the years. Any feedback on guys? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think, you know, and that's a really, really valid point to put in there about, you know, having like a paranormal hangover, and I'd well and truly vouch for that. You know, especially doing investigations of sites, if you've been there for quite a number of hours, you know, it's not outside the realm of possibility. And it does actually happen quite commonly that you'll come home and feel really, really drained, and can do for, you know, quite a number of days. But I think it probably also comes down a lot of times too, especially for new people that are being taken out into the field on investigations, people who are sensitive to that kind of thing as well, and probably, you know, if they are new, mightn't even be aware that they're sensitive, but especially in a lot of sites where there's been a lot of pain and you know, anguish and that kind of thing, to be able to pick up on that, someone who is sensitive, they might, you know, possibly take that away with them for a couple of days, and you know, they'll sort of have that residual feeling, you know, they've absorbed or they've come in contact with.
Or is it that they've built themselves up psychologically and prepared themselves so much that they're expecting to see more or feel more, and when they don't feel it, they feel let down, and it's that disappointment rather than depression?
Well, that could be a very valid,
very valid question, actually, mate. A very good point, actually.
A lot of people, you know,
most intelligent thing Wadsy's ever said.
He doesn't listen to many shows, does he?
No. He's always got intelligent things to say.
Yes, it's special. My doctor told me so. Special.
You were
tested,
tested,
on the floor
weren't you?
today, and says I was going to eat all the special things.
I love you, Wadsy, especially when you got clothes on. Yeah, no, good point, mate. It's
Because I mean, a lot of sportsmen or anybody in particular will build themselves up to a point that say, "Yep, this is it. This is going to happen," and when it doesn't happen, bang, they're disappointed or do go into depression.
Yeah, I actually quite agree with that because, I know of people who've been investigating for a very, very long time. Actually, I've known people who've investigated for 6 weeks. They start a new group up. And see, I don't know whether or not it's people expecting too much from the field as well, and they're not getting what they think they were going to get out of it.
Their expectations are too high.
Expectations are too high. The paranormal field as such, as an investigative format, is boring as batshit.
There's no hard and fast rules that you're actually going to see something, feel something, do something.
It is boring. I mean, there are it is. You find yourself standing around, walking through hallways and all the rest. It's quite exciting. The first, new location, new place, you're out there doing the thing, and then nothing's happening.
Yep.
You spend 6-7 hours longer walking these halls, calling out for people's names, trying to get information. Of course you're going to be bored out of your scone. And that does, boredom will lead to sort of depression. I don't think it's more of a possession. Possession is more of a...
But not saying that it couldn't happen.
No, not saying it couldn't happen. I mean, there's so many cases
so many
of people...
so many different aspects of what it could be that you can't say it's definitely one or the other.
Well, even further to that, what about looking at it along the lines of the possible placebo effect as well, where if you have really, really prepared for it and hyped up to it, you might be expecting so much that it actually takes on a bit of a life of its own, and you might start to think that you're feeling things or seeing things that aren't actually there because you're so G'd up as well. Yeah,
that's where the depression can come into it. I say, people say, when you mess around with Ouija boards and stuff like that, you can get possessed and you let stuff in that you shouldn't. There's also been investigations where people have gone through. I mean, I've even seen it on friggin' Ghost Adventures, where I think it was Nick at one stage actually gets all weird and actually
gets a couple of times on Ghost Adventures.
The most recent episode it happened.
Yeah, but it's not the first time that's happened either.
Yeah.
I mean, is he like? I'm sorry to put it bluntly. Is it putting on for the show, or is he just prone to that sort of?
Is Nick the guy that does the Ouija boards?
No. Nick's with Zach Bagans and what's the other guy's name?
Aaron Goodwin.
Aaron Goodwin. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. But I know it's TV. I know all the rest of it, but it just makes me wonder at times that how much of that possession is real. I mean, and look, I can sit there and pull a funny expression on my face and ignore you all. I do it regularly, but
just sit there and smile.
I just sit there, smile and nod. But that's the thing. But there are people out there who are probably prone to that sort of attack, and which it is an attack. Possession is an attack, and afterwards you do feel a bit funny. I mean, I vouch for that. I mean, what happened to me in New Zealand? I've talked about before, where I was provoking, which wasn't a smart thing to do back then, and. Yeah, and it really took the wind out of me. I wasn't depressed. I was more scared, to be honest.
But did you feel it followed you home?
No, God, no. No, seriously, I was, no. I mean, like I said, who want to follow me home? I'm that boring outside doing the show. But that's the thing. We just don't quite know the individual case on the person. Unfortunately, no, exactly. I've seen a lot of investigations out there where people do put it on.
Yep.
I've seen it over and over and over again because even though there aren't cameras rolling, there are people watching. It's theatrics, I call it. I've been in investigations where I've seen people put it on. And I just, you can tell by the body language. Yeah, if you want to talk an actual possession, then you need to speak to someone who actually deals with it. Actually deals with not guys like us. We're not experts at that side of things because, seriously, when someone's possessed, I still have this image of freaking...
poltergeist or...
oh, God, we are so old.
What, even like demonic sort of... malevolent possession.
Yes.
Paranormal Activity and that sort of thing. Those movies.
No, the green eyes and the spewing of the green liquid and...
Yeah, I mean, that's right. And
head spinning.
Yeah, head spinning stuff. I mean, you look at the stuff like what the Booth brothers did with The Haunted Boy, right? I've actually got the manuscript here for it. an actual account by a priest who went through the whole process of everything, and he documented everything. And I've read it, and my God, and that's what the movie was based off. You know, the haunted boy wasn't a factual possession. If someone, in my view, and this is my view, and I could be way off target here, if someone's possessed, you've got the whole ball and dice thing happening. You've got everything going on. You just don't have someone standing there with a strange look in their face and going, start doing funny things. To me, it's a whole kit and caboodle. That's my view on possession. So, yes, it can be depression at the same time because you're all hyped up. You want some answers to happen. You want something to go on, but it's just not following suit.
Or disappointment, and it's easier to call it depression.
Or easier to call it possession.
Well, I mean, even then, let's not overlook, naturally occurring phenomena. And, I mean, that's been shown a number of times where you'll get a low frequency, creates almost like a standing wave. And it's seen most commonly, you'll get it in old prisons and asylums and that kind of thing where you've got pretty thick walls, and that low frequency and the reverberation can actually make, it does things to your body. And the US have been playing with that kind of technology for quite a number of years now.
They're even looking at weaponry and stuff like that.
Sound weapons as far as, dispersing riots and that kind of thing. They were messing around with that kind of thing, way back with Waco, Texas as well, using sound weapons.
Well, that goes back to the 50s.
Yeah,
They've always been
it's been shown that, if you're in a confined environment and you've got that low frequency hum, it can make you feel, horribly nauseous. It can make you feel fearful, depressed, and a lot of people at times, if they're not aware of that kind of thing, can think that they're actually experiencing something that's natural to that site. They're actually picking up on vibes of the ghosts, whereas it's just, the human body reacting to that low frequency, and making you feel like, you're really upset or fearful or sick. So, and depending on how long you've been at a site, if you're doing a 12-hour investigation and your body's exposed to that the entire time, who knows how long, how many days it takes for your body to actually pull through that and, come good as well.
Well, that's right. Andrew, you've been very quiet sitting in the corner there, mate. What's your view on this?
I'm 20 years old, don't have much experience, so I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, but no, this is what the show is about, is to get those viewpoints and idea across. All right, so Andrew, you get yourself in a position where you're on investigation, right?
Yep.
And one of your friends starts showing signs of depression or something like that during the investigation. As a young bloke in the field, what would be your first port of, what would you do to work out whether it was possession or depression, or was they just putting it on?
Give them a bit of a shake about first. See, jump up on them, sort of get them to react to something, see how they react to something, and it could be a bad move, but it could cancel out some other things around the place.
What's wrong with that scenario straight off the bat?
Dangerous.
Very,
very
dangerous. Right.
Yep.
If it is and I'm using radio signals here, inverted commas, if it is a possession, that's probably the last thing you want to do. If it's depression, it could actually make the situation worse. Yep. But if it's a put on, it'll just continue on because they're getting attention to do it.
Yep.
That's my view. Liam.
Yeah, I think probably if you see somebody who's, obviously not acting themselves and, it could be depression or even, spiralling right up to possession, I think probably the best thing to do is just keep it really calm and quiet and see if you can remove the person from the situation. So, if you'd just say, would you mind coming with me? I just, let's pop over here for a tick, take them out, get them a bit of fresh air and remove them from the situation that they're in, and then see if there's any market improvement. And if not, then I guess it's a matter of then trying to diagnose whether it is, whether it's depression, they're just feeling bad within themselves, or whether there's something more serious there.
Yeah, Wadsy?
Yeah, take them out of the situation, and when they haven't got the audience, see if they're acting the same way.
Very good point. And that's what basically I would tend to do as well, is the fact if I come across someone in investigation, they start showing signs of weirdness, as I call it, I would literally lead them out gently out of the investigation. I wouldn't try and snap my fingers at them. I wouldn't try and provoke any sort of bad karma, as it were. I wouldn't yell at them, tell them to snap out of it and all the rest of it. But usually you find when you take someone out of that environment, it won't tend to stay with them. 99.9% of it it'll walk out. It will stay where it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk them out of this, take them out of the dangerous situation that they might be in, sit them down, get them a drink of water, and talk about it. I know I sound like a real wet blanket, but unfortunately,
Someone's got to be the man.
No, I think it's
Yeah,
by far
it's-
the best thing to do.
and you can't rely on TV shows when they start yelling at each other and stuff like that. You know, snap out, all this. That is wrong. That is false. You don't deal.
The TV
with
shows are false.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's you don't do that to your
Yeah.
mates or
Well,
your
it's
friends.
like sleepwalking, and that's
You
the
never
number
wake a
one rule.
sleepwalker
It's
up.
like,
No.
don't grab someone who's sleepwalking by the shoulders and shake the crap out of them. And
They'll probably drop dead.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the people have died from bloody being woken up during the middle of sleepwalk, stuff like that. This is a known fact. So yeah, look, this is quite an interesting topic, and I think it's absolutely a brilliant topic to say the least, because I'd like to hear from the zombie listeners, of course, and thanks Garth for bringing this forward to us. Their experiences, what they would do in this situation. It isn't an easy thing to do, and it only comes with experience.
Yep.
And practice and seeing it a few times. Now, most people can pick a phony straight away,
Oh, yeah.
and there's a lot of phonies. There's a lot of people who throw theatrics in to the paranormal because they think that it's even though there's no cameras rolling, they have an audience. Right, they're the centre of attention. They're the ones who get possessed. They're the ones who do this. This is unfortunate, but it happens more than people care to talk about. That's what we talk about. We talk about these events and situations that happen that people don't like discussing because it may offend someone else. So I really don't give two rats about that.
But there's enough people out there that want to listen to it or want to hear it, so we keep doing it.
That's right. I mean, we bring these subject matters to the forefront because they need to be discussed.
Yeah,
People
and
are
I
asking
think,
for it.
yeah, it's for anyone who's going out and doing investigations. I think it's important to discuss it as well because it's, you probably don't see it that often, but it is something that you need to keep in the back of your head that eventually you could come across it too. So
That's right, and
it's
it's
a matter
usually
of,
someone you won't know.
yeah, and it's a matter of taking it into account so that you're prepared when it does happen. That you can see the signs and you know how to deal with it adequately rather than sort of freaking out on the spot.
You remember, you're not psychologists unless you've actually studied to be a psychologist. So you're dealing with a situation that will lead people into unknown territory and stuff like that. Now, even when I go on investigations, I know the people I'm investigating with 99.97% of the time. I've been in situations where I haven't known anybody. But what I do is I watch. I watch people. I watch their actions. I watch their movements. I look for little signs of, the bullshit radar goes off, type thing. And unfortunately, we do come across it. Now, we're getting slightly off track, but it is a problem with out there because it can wreck a good investigation. And look, if you're one of these people that think it's all great and dandy to go out there and friggin' throw in a bit of theatrics and all the rest of it, get a little excited about, or you think nothing's happening, so let's stir things up a bit by putting on a little bit of a performance, you can get stuffed in my eyes because that doesn't help.
Yep.
That puts everyone at risk. That takes away all the enjoyment of what you do in the investigation, and that just lets everybody down.
And I mean, I know back when I used to do a lot more investigations and I had a team, and there'd be days too where you'd decide that you were going to go out one night and your friend had come over and you'd be getting ready and they'd be telling you that, the car broke down today and I had a big fight with my partner this afternoon and something else hasn't gone right and,
And on
life
the night there it
sucks.
goes down from
And
there, yeah.
that's really important too for anyone going out doing investigations. That's the moment where you say,
Mindset.
look, either you don't come tonight or that's fine, we'll just cancel it and we'll do it another night, because you don't want somebody who's in that mindset and they're stressed and they're under pressure. You don't want to take them into a situation where they could be put under further stress and strain, because that's where your major depression does kick in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and especially being weakened as well. If there is anything malevolent there that enjoys picking on people, it's going to be that person that
It's big
invariably
target
that's
saying-
going to be picked on. So
But also that, we're getting back to last week, we're talking about health and safety. If their mind's not on the job, they're a bigger risk of hurting themselves
oh,
Or
absolutely.
hurting somebody
or hurting
else.
somebody else through falling down a hole or
Yeah.
not looking where they're going or stepping on something, than if they are concentrating on the job with nothing else in their mind.
Yeah, I God, I've seen it. You've had you go an investigation, and you've got some tool out there who thinks, well, nothing's happened, let's spark things up. So they throw themselves on the ground, they start convulsing, and they start doing this, doing that. Now, everyone else will run to them to see if they're okay, right?
Yep.
Which is normal human nature. Everyone always goes to someone's aid. I'm a bit different. I sort of, if they're having a fit, right, they're having a fit.
Yeah.
There are telltale signs of someone, a seizure or something like that is a seizure. You will know what a seizure is. They'll be biting themselves. They'll be doing all sorts of.
It's a fit.
It's a fit.
Yeah.
When someone's acting, right?
They'll stop for a little while and start up again.
Yeah, it's
Got to
very
take a breath.
Yeah. They have to. They can't continue it on. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is. But they say, oh, someone's just throwing me down. Oh, I can't move and all this other crap. I mean, that's great, right? I had this one bird who this investigation did. She goes, I've got someone kept holding me down. I had all these bruises on me. Where are the bruises?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gone now. What? Within a matter of a bruise appeared within a matter of 3 seconds, and within half an hour the bruises were gone. The human body does not work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And
You know what I mean? And that's theatrics. That's, someone's holding me down, all this other crap they're going with. I sound a little bit jaded about this because I guess I've seen it over and over again. Now, I've been on investigations with very good people who don't throw this sort of caricatures on it and put on the act and all the rest of it. And it's important for people to realise if you're going to pull shit like that, it'll get you nowhere within this field.
Yeah, and I did an investigation very similarly many years ago with somebody at the time. It was quite sad because there are a lot of very good psychics and mediums out there, but this person was, a self-professed psychic and smack bang in the middle of an investigation, threw her arms up and, threw herself on the floor. But I mean, the worst part was it was so unbelievably obvious that it was just a put on.
Yeah.
And once everyone sort of said, let's just continue to move on, it stopped immediately. But I mean, that ruined.
That ruined the whole
what
night.
could have been a really good night. It ruined it because that happened smack bang in the guts of it too.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, and usually you tell the ones who are going to do that because they've always got their arms outstretched. Reckon they're feeling, they sense a presence and stuff like that. A true medium psychic doesn't walk around with their arms outstretched going. And I'm doing a visual here again. I'm sorry for the people on radio, but you guys know I'm talking. They've got their arms out. I feel a presence. That's an act, straight off the bat. A true psychic medium, something like they don't do that. They just, such and such is. They're very nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
It's like it's someone's there, and that's why I get, and I guess I get a bit annoyed with some of these things because they do tend to bring it down for everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other people there that it's sad. Look, it could be a cry for attention. It could be a cry for help. Now, Garth, with your mate, it was probably a strange event for you, buddy. But you got to remember it is that if it was a possession, you would know. Seriously, off the bat, mate, it's not a flickering 2-second thing. A possession is a gradual process, and it leads to all hell breaking loose in a nutshell. People do not become possessed by clicking a switch.
No.
It is a slight... It could take a matter of weeks, days, hours, minutes maybe, but not seconds.
Yep.
I've never read a recorded case of a possession happening, click of a switch. You know what I mean? That's not possible. Something just can't go into someone else's body and take over it.
Yeah.
They have to work at it. It's like whittling wood. You need to get it down past the levels, as it were, to get to the core thing. So that's why I don't place a lot of emphasis on the TV shows. And when people say, they act funny and all weird, no. I can't see that physically happening. More case of depression, right? Things probably weren't going right for the investigation. He wasn't happy. Mindset wasn't on the job. And he just was acting a bit odd. Depression is a funny thing. It does mess you up slightly. It's not great. And if it's depression, they shouldn't be on an investigation in that sense.
Yep.
I'm sorry to say, and unfortunately in this society today, we have a lot of people out there who do suffer from it. I've put my hand up through it. I've been through it. Wadsy, you know that?
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
I've talked to Wadsy about it.
Myself.
I mean, me and him go back many, many years, and he's one bloke I did talk about it, because he knew what was going on. But it's that whole thing is you get over it and you move on with it. You know what I mean? And some people suffer it worse than others. But yeah, no, it's a very interesting question. But as far as possessions go, mate, they're not as it has to be pretty damn powerful to possess anybody, and
It's
takes
as clear cut and straightforward as
no,
1 second you're not and 1 second you are.
no.
and next second you're not.
That's crap
Yeah.
with a capital C.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, people want to disagree with me. That's what the show is for. You can write in and let me know that's a load of bollocks, and you can tell me and give me the reasons why though. Don't point just writing and saying that's a load of crap. I want to hear the reasons why it's a load of
Yeah.
crap. Yeah, and that's
Oh,
that's
it's
the
gonna be
thing.
an argument. Yeah. You
Yeah,
can't
I
say
don't
it's
mind a
crap.
good argument.
Yeah.
But that's the point in being is we need to start scraping away all the bullshit and theatrics and look at the core the core of the whole thing.
Yeah.
What is the underlying problem? It's like doing an investigation in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to find the core thing. You got to find the one thing that's producing that bit of evidence.
But that comes down to research.
Research.
Yeah. Like we were
Exactly
talking
right.
about the other night,
Yeah.
it's no point in just turning up in an old building and wandering through it, higgledy-piggledy, just without any kind of aim. And, you've got to actually understand what, the history of the site and what's gone on there, and, and especially whether there's anything, in the history of the site that, could possibly lead to that or, give rise to it. That's the most important.
Just because it's an old building doesn't mean it's possessed.
No.
Or, I mean,
Not just a
the
hangout
thing.
spot for demons. It's just
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing.
might not be cool enough for demons.
Yeah, I mean, why all of a sudden, even in Australia here, why all of a sudden we're now every Tom, Dick, and Harry place has got demons?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so
Because
lately,
it's
like
old.
I can't get over the fact that why is it? I'm just taking my headphones off because yeah, they're annoying me tonight. It's why is it every friggin' place has a demonic entity in it nowadays? It's just
Because it's a trend.
Well, it's like what
It
we were
is a
talking
trend.
last week about, there seems to be this big trend all of a sudden. It's only been the last couple of months with this whole satanic ritual thing too. I've found that, so many groups are going out because sites are claimed to, have had, a long history of satanic rituals.
satanic worships and devil worship and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, it only seems to be sort of the last couple of months that this has become a really big trend. And, I mean, a lot of them are sites where... And you don't come across that many sites that have had,
And even then, they're not done properly.
No.
That's the thing. To do a proper satanic ritual takes more than burning a couple of black candles and reciting some Latin.
You need some goats and some blood.
Oh, mate, there's a whole shebang that
Cats.
goes on. I mean, we're talking about we've gone from this to the occult. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. It's you go into a place that maybe recommended it, or look, I'm all for adventure. I love the adventurous side of the paranormal. I love going and checking out, doing the urban tripping, urban legends, checking crap out till the cows come home. That's what it's about. That's part of the paranormal is going out and finding this stuff.
Yeah.
But what concerns me is that this big trend on demons in every house, demons in your cup of coffee,
Well,
demons this,
It's a
demons that. I mean,
trend.
It's a trend
At
that's
the moment, it's like no one used to admit that they had convicts in their family.
now
Now
it's the greatest thing since sliced
It's a
bread.
status symbol.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I'll vouch for that. It's I've made a career out of chasing ghost stories, and I've got thousands of them. Different places around Brisbane, and very occasionally you'll come across a story where somebody was attacked by something that they was otherworldly and they couldn't explain. But those stories are in comparison to just the normal ghost stories of something strange happened in this building. Those sort of demonic stories, they're so few and far between. Well, they were so few and far between up until recently, but it seems to have really come to the forefront now as well.
It has, and it's a shame because it's from people who should know better. You know what I mean? It is from people that should know that. Look, this is where I guess I'm not blaming TV. I'm blaming people.
Should
But
know
this-
better or ill-informed people?
No, I reckon they should know better
Yeah?
because they're not researching. They're not doing.
Well, that's ill-informed.
There's a difference between ill-informed and research. If I told you, mate, I was hung like a mule, I'd be informing you of
Yeah,
something.
he'd be expecting you to research it as well.
But
I'll take it on face value.
but you know, I mean, it's
His hands aren't that big.
I don't know. They're pretty sexy. But this, it frustrates the hell out of me that I seem to be more frustrated with the field each week I do the show. I think I'm not, but it's these are points that got to be brought forward. You know, these are things that fine. You may not like what I say and all the rest, but I don't care at all because these are valid points. You watch a TV show and it comes up with someone getting possessed or someone's getting pushed over, someone's yada, 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 yada. That's great. How much of it is real?
Yep.
How much is it theatrics?
How much is real? How much is the producer saying, hey, listen, we want you to do this, this, and this, and this?
Poetic license.
Poetic license is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You know? What is what they say. They reckon if it's stolen, it's plagiarism. If you steal from many different sources, it's research.
Yes.
Yeah,
as long as you reference it at the end.
Yeah, reference at the end. Damn you, references.
Yeah, I mean, not along those lines, not to take away from any of the shows that are on television,
No.
because they make for great entertainment.
They are great
but,
entertainment.
I mean, you'd know this, Brad. You know, doing investigations, how often do you go to places and you just don't hit anything? There's nothing. Yet you watch a lot of these shows and it's consistently every episode. You know, there's 400 EVPs and 8 shadow men photos, and someone gets shoved down a set of stairs 4 times, and it's it's every show. And if they were shooting 100 episodes for a season and then only showing the best 6, where things actually happen, I'd understand, but they're not. They're showing all 6, the only 6 episodes that they shot, and they get these massive reactions every time, and it's not, it's really hit and miss. It's not that successful every time, but.
No, it's not that successful. I mean, I will admit, the guys from Ghost Adventures, they go to some really cool locations all around the world. And these are the most recognised haunted locations that people know about. So first off the bat, you expect something to happen.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I only have a problem with the fact, why is it that every second episode someone gets possessed?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I've been doing this for 20 years.
But not even just possessed, even has a paranormal experience or...
I very rarely have a paranormal... I've had some great things happen.
Yeah.
But I guarantee it's out of 100 places, I'll be lucky to find 10 with true paranormal. Even then, they're questionable.
Yeah.
And probably my whole life, in the 20-odd years I've been investigating seriously, I can count the events on one hand that just blew me away. That just left me with no explanation whatsoever.
Unexplainable, yeah.
That on one hand, that's what it's like. So why is it that... And I've been to some really cool places. Yeah. I've travelled to these places to go and see them. I've left Australia to do it. But so I just have... I don't know. It's... Am I just getting old and crotchety?
No, and I think, even...
Grumpy old man.
Grumpy old man, Brad.
But I love Taps as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. But I think that's what really sets that show apart from so many other, paranormal investigation shows on TV too. Is how many episodes of Taps do you see where they go, they'll get caught in by a building owner or a homeowner that says, all hell's breaking loose and this, that, and the other's happening, and it'll get to the end of the episode and they'll go and say, look, I'm really sorry, but we just didn't find anything. Yeah. Yeah, and that, I think, even though, there are some detractors on Taps, that's one of the really good things I think that Taps shows, is that it's, it is hit and miss. At times people will tell you, all hell's breaking loose.
Their locations are a lot different too. I mean, that's why you have... Is Ghost Hunters International still going? Oh, see, that's just trouble with me. I've lost a lot of interest in the shows.
Major places as well. Along, you've got Eastern States Penitentiary in Waverly Hills. They've done, sort of their fair number of the big sites as well. But, in comparison, you look at a lot of the evidence or, different things that happen that they get, in comparison to a lot of stuff that other shows have gotten. And it's, because I think they approach it from a far different, a different perspective, a different angle as well.
I probably enjoy the live shows more than anything, I guess, because it's done differently. It's live. You can't fluff. Oh, you can. I know. We all know about the jacket pulling incident. The jacket.
I was going to say there was the millimetre throwing incident.
And the coat hanger and all that.
I mean, that was an outsider though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but I know. I guess in a lot of ways, I love the field, but I'm not into the shows. If you know what I mean, I like the radio shows that are out there because there's a lot of many great radio shows on the paranormal, and I listen to as many as I can. I'm not the host that goes, no, I don't want to listen to your show. But no, I do because I find it fascinating what other people think and other people's ideas. To me, television and those things has sort of let me down in the sense where I enjoyed the old Leonard Nimoy's mystery. I like
good old Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Ripley's Believe It or
Brought
Not.
up on Ripley's. It was
William
fantastic.
Unexplained.
Unexplained.
Weird or
What,
explainable
strange,
or
yeah, I
something,
mean,
yeah.
look, because they're actual events and stories. They're not stuff they got to do on the fly. I enjoy good doco. I still think that what the guys who are doing the Darkness Falls in India, if they can pull that off, that would be something truly remarkable and different.
Yep.
Don Mears is doing a thing at which is a live 3 guys, 3 groups going out. Monte Cristo coming up. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's
because
7th
of October.
7th of
That's gonna
October.
be
See,
huge.
to me, that is pretty true to form. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's to me. That's and what the Booth brothers do. Spook TV. What they do is true to form. It's that they get a lot of other people involved and all the rest of it. So the paranormal TV shows, for say, I don't know. They don't do it for me anymore. I enjoyed watching them when they first come out, but I guess I've just lost interest.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch a TV show when you're doing night vision camera and all you see is their face and you hear a creak and they get scared.
Yeah, it doesn't
I mean,
work
how's
for me.
this creak?
Oh, the,
House
like,
will
the
shift,
old,
move,
the most
settle.
haunted sort of style.
Oh,
of,
God, the most
you know,
haunted. God, every 10 seconds something cool was happening.
Yeah, I mean,
But they're coming
how can
back
you
again, it
respect
turns
that?
out.
Yeah, but I mean, I think for the most part in the TV, there's a lot of good material there. I think, especially for anyone who's starting out in the field as well, on different equipment that's out there. You know, how to use it. You know, what kind of reactions you expect from your equipment. I think that's all good info. But at the same time, I think sort of don't believe the hype as well. On a lot of it as well. So
Well, see, I would have trouble interviewing, I guess, nowadays, someone who was like doing one of the mainstream shows.
Yeah.
I mean, because to me, it's like, yeah, okay, type thing. I'd rather sit down and interview someone who's investigated for the first time and them share their experiences. And so other people who've done it for the first time can know what their stuff ups or their successes were. I'd rather interview Joe Bloggs up the road, who's had a paranormal experience and wants to talk about it, than get involved with the mainstream side of things. I'm sorry, I have no interest in it because to me it's a story that's been told over and over and over and over again.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you only do the story so many times because unless something happens, you got to make it up.
Well, that's theatre.
Right.
TV is money.
Commercialisation.
TV is money. The only reason why TV shows are made, A, is for money.
Yes.
2 is to tell a story. 3 is to get that information out there. But the end of it is to make money.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
Advertising.
Advertising. Yeah, the cricket done to death with KFC.
Exactly.
Yeah, and stuff like this. So there is reasons why people do stuff. I mean, I can understand. Hey, we all want to make money. Trust me. And don't forget, you can always donate to the Naked Zombie Radio because we need money.
Let's look at the segue
I've
there.
said it.
Yeah.
I've said it. There you
I
go.
didn't even give him a lead then.
No, I said it. I don't care. We work hard. Yeah, show some love. But I mean, this is what it's about. We can go through on and on about this whole subject regarding what's wrong with the paranormal field, what's crappy about, what's shitty about it, and all the other crap that goes on with it.
We've sort of got off depression a bit, though.
Hey,
We've sort of got off depression a bit.
no, this can lead to depression. Trust me. But
What, you talking so much?
yeah, probably. But thanks. Cheers. Yeah.
Well, and even to circle it right back around, talking about high expectations.
It is a circle.
does. Just
Yeah.
from watching television shows and expecting,
Well, yeah.
Exactly right.
the $1 million shot every time you go out. I mean, if you've got high expectation, it can lead to depression because your investigation's not working anywhere near how you expect
I've
it
seen
from
some-
watching Ghost Adventures.
I've sat down and watched some amazing stuff on YouTube that's about 30 seconds long that's given me more of a kick than sitting down watching a 45-minute program.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
definitely
Oh, my
have
God,
it,
there's so
But
much
that's where
cool
people
stuff
make
out
the wrong
there.
perception is because they've seen those 6 episodes. Something's happened in those 6 episodes. They've seen 6 hours of TV probably. Doesn't mean that there's 100 hours, 150 hours of cutting room floor that's just filled with crap.
Well, on average, it takes 2 to 3 days. They film for 2 to 3 days. They
get one episode.
To get one. I mean, they do.
Yeah,
they
well,
basically wear the same clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so it's
There's 72 hours
of filming.
A 1 hour show.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to come
So
from
there's 71
somewhere.
hours on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it is,
Yeah.
the way the magic of TV works. I mean, I know this because I've worked in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it comes down. I've worked on film and TV, so I know exactly what happens and what people get up to in the industry. Oh, look, I still love it. It's still fantastic. Oh, I just get a kick out of so much out there that people are producing.
Oh,
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much good. But I tell you what, I would much rather watch some bloke locally pick up that one little bit of evidence that he shares with the world, and you go, "Wow, that's amazing."
Yeah. Well,
how
how many
could you
times-
possibly have faked that?
Yeah, how many times have you watched that on YouTube? You know, where there'll be the 30 seconds, you know, sort of cut of seeing, you know, a figure, you know, a fairly clear figure walk past a window or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that makes it even more special too, because you know that it's a local group, and you know they're looking at local sites, and they're not, you know, it's not a big budget thing, so you know that there's no real fakery or anything involved, or you'd like to hope that there isn't.
Hmm.
Well, you see that one shot in the promo, and you never to see it again until the last 5 seconds of the final program. And that's
Yeah.
the only
You still
only
got
bit of
that.
paranormal activity you see.
You sort of got that lead up to the whole event happening
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, and so you speed. But
It's like certain current affairs or
you
morning shows. That
I hate when they do that. I hate when they
coming
go,
up after the break,
No,
is such
they
and
have all
such.
this hype.
3 breaks from now.
3 breaks from now, half an hour from now, 45 minutes later, or an hour later.
And then they're going with all this hype and shit, and then you
Yeah.
go on, well, what the hell are we going to do with this crap? You know,
And
it
then they
just
say,
it's,
well, we didn't have time
it's
for that
nothing
story.
to do with the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
All that footage isn't even in the story and stuff like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I mean, fine. It's TV. We've talked about this in the past, as we're probably flogging a dead horse again. But it's all to do with people's perception of what they're going to experience and get out of the field. Now, on a happier note, right, because we've talked about all the bad crap, there really isn't. No. I mean, I'm sitting here laid back in my chair, very laid back right
How
now.
about Bill's in your lap?
Hey, so how you doing?
Wow, wow, wow.
But, you know, it's
Wow, wow.
all right. Andrew, you've got an impressible young mind.
Oh,
Where's
geez.
this leading?
yeah.
Yeah, we know where
Worried
it's
if I was
leading.
you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Turn the lights back on.
Zip. Now, your impressions, mate. Being the youngest out of the lot of us, you like these shows, don't you?
I like some of them.
No.
That's-
Look,
yeah,
look,
no,
honestly,
that's-
mate. Look, be honest. The simple fact is that to your generation, right? They're probably the coolest things to slice bread. Tell me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
No, they're pretty cool.
I mean, you do. You love Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures is the main one I watch. yeah.
Okay, why do you like Ghost Adventures? And be honest, because look, this is what it's about, dude. We've got different age groups here, right? We've
Yep.
got from the really
Yep.
decrepit like Wadsy through to
Brad.
to almost semi-decrepit me. Then you got Liam, who's just eye candy, and you, the baby of the group. What's
Baby. That's-
what? Well, yeah. Come on, mate. You're 20 years younger than me. So what's and 110 years younger than Wadsy. So what's? Oh, I'm gonna get
109, please.
Sorry, 109.
I'm not that old.
Why do you like Ghost Adventures?
The drama, really. That's about it. You know, it's always full on. That's why it's good. It's entertainment. That's it.
Entertainment value or entertainment because it's got facts and real things in it?
Entertainment value.
So it's
not
just
necessarily the
It's-
content, it's just the people and the way they present it.
Pretty much. Yep. That's about it.
So it's commercialised?
You know,
yeah, very.
yeah, very. Yeah. No, they're always throwing out names here and there, you know, getting. It's just, yeah, I understand that half the stuff on it is
So
over dramatised and that sort of thing, but it's just still
You
entertaining
enjoy
to
it.
watch. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, enjoy
And,
watching
and
it.
mate, seriously, there's nothing wrong with enjoying it. And that's what it comes down to. If you enjoy the program, watch the buggery out of it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're getting a kick out for the entertainment value, right? And that's what TV is about. It's entertainment. It's what leaves you guessing or imagining or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Also, pick up a book helps.
What, instead of watching TV?
We've got electronic devices that do that for us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's really, really sad, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird kettle of fish. I mean, I still love to see an Australian show out there. Look, I would love nothing more to see a properly produced, non-dramatised, non-faked
Doco
bullshit
type show with-
Doco type show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's me though. Maybe I'm wrong.
a mockumentary.
No,
Not a
probably-
mockumentary.
no, no. Welcome to Brad's life.
That's a mockumentary.
Yeah, it is. My life is a mockumentary. Documentary. Oh, I can't pronounce it. I'm so stuffed. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, we watch TV for the entertainment value.
Exactly. So what it's there for?
That's why we go to movies.
Entertainment.
That's why we look at stuff on YouTube on the internet.
Yeah.
That's why I look at stuff on the internet. I don't know about
That's
you.
for the entertainment value of inverted
Yes.
commas. I mean,
Information.
yeah, right, yeah, no,
Research.
research. Yeah, you research all the boobies you want.
Okay. Is
Don't-
that permission to go do that?
Yeah, if you want, I don't care. I got unlimited broadband. Knock yourself out, mate. We know if you disappear for a couple of minutes where you're going though.
I'll take longer than a couple of minutes.
Stop it. But yeah, it's all good. I've stumped you now. You're just sitting there shaking your head, going, "Oh crap! Why do I come back each
I
week?"
don't know. Go play with my crayons and paint box in the corner.
You can hide under the table with Hobo Bill if you want and
He
play
steals
with
my
him.
crayons and paint box.
Yeah, well, you probably deserve that to be stolen. You can hop in his magical mystery
No one gets
rubbish
crayons
can
and
of
paint box.
knowledge.
No one gets my crayons and paint box.
That's all right. So basically, we've managed to drag that out for 45 minutes on that one topic. Well done, Garth. I think it was a very good question.
Garth, he didn't say anything.
No, the question was excellent. Oh God, here we go. Every week this happens.
If
No
it
wonder
wasn't for
I'm
me,
going
this
grey.
show would be boring.
Or
I
listen
make you
to.
guys look intelligent.
Yes, you do. No, we love Wadsy. And don't send me hate mail because I'm picking on Wadsy. We've been picking on each other for nearly 20 years, so we can get away with it. Now, so guys, any other subjects you want to bring to the format? We've got about another 15 minutes left of the show. And you had a question.
I got a question.
Yep.
Do you think spirits can come to people in dreams even though they're not conscious of wanting to contact someone? Or do you have to want to contact someone and be thinking about that, wanting to contact
No, I
someone?
reckon they'll come anytime they
So
want.
do you mean it's
So-
like
so-
the
so-
spirits aren't conscious of wanting to contact the person, or the person who's asleep is not conscious of wanting to be contacted by the
Yeah,
spirit?
the
correct.
secondary
Second
on that
one,
one, I think, yeah. If I guess in a lot of ways, if somebody wants to contact you, it's like picking up the mobile phone. You're not conscious of the fact that someone's about to ring you, but you still get that call.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I guess it's the same scenario when it comes to spirits contacting you in your dreams. And a lot of people have dreams of dead past loved ones and people they've known and leaving messages and stuff
So
like that.
why don't they come to you when you're awake?
Probably because in a dream state you're sort of more relaxed. You're not
Yeah.
going to kick them, go running and screaming from the room. Trust me, if my grandfather walked in the room right now and he's been dead for 15 odd years, what's the first thing I'd do? Make him a cup of coffee? No.
Well,
I'd literally be going up to my room and changing my underpants because it's not something I would expect. But in a dream, it doesn't matter. It's an open slather. It's like we dream constantly about different things. Whether it makes sense or not, I don't know. But if someone, look, seriously, what do you think, Liam?
yeah, I think it's and that's been accepted for God,
God,
how
since-
long now? That ghosts find it a lot easier, or it's postulated that they find it a lot easier to come to you in a dream state,
And
rather
it
than
could
when
be
you're
from
awake.
people that aren't even
because-
dead yet.
Yeah, your natural
So-
defences, that kick in when you're awake are not there. But like you said too, Brad, it's because you've got a captive audience. If you were sitting there eating Wheaties one morning, and an apparition appeared at the end of the table, you'd crap yourself and throw your Wheat Bix at them, and
And bolt for the door. I'm
But
sorry,
in
I
your
mean-
dream, because all those natural fight or flight mechanisms
Yeah.
that you have when you're awake aren't there when you're dreaming. So essentially you're a captive audience, and your brain just accepts it a lot
Yeah.
more readily than if you were awake. So
See, I'm not talking about like we've heard of instances where people seen apparitions and they get a bit of start, but they go chasing after that. I'm not talking about. I'm talking literally
Full-blown figure.
full-blown figure, been dead for years, walks in, sits down next to you, and starts a conversation.
Yeah.
That's your instant mind be going, "This is messed up. I need to get away." You know what I mean? Because you would. And I'm sorry if you think, no, I'll sit there and have a chatty poo with them. No, you are a tool.
But there are people that do sit there and talk to them.
Yes, but they're sort of slightly wired differently.
I think even the hardest,
Hardest
toughest
paranormal. I'm talking about
man you'd
paranormal
ever,
investigator, not medium or psychic, because they deal with them on a constant basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
No,
about
I'm not even talking about a paranormal investigator or a medium or something. I'm just talking about
a
Joe
normal
Bloggs in the
person.
street.
Yeah, look, if I have a
even if
dream
someone is
about
negative towards spirits and believing in paranormal
Yeah.
activity or anything like that, and their dreams is of someone who is dead,
Yep,
or they don't know.
it's easier to handle it.
Yeah, well, even if they're negative towards accepting, or seeing something, of course, when they're awake, you're not, your brain's going to just completely.
But aren't they just going to think, well, I can think, therefore I've made up a figure,
No, I don't know.
rather than it actually being a spirit?
Well, so whether or not the spirits visit you in your dreams and stuff like that, I mean, we've all had extensive where everyone here has dreamt about somebody who's passed on or something like that, and it feels real and it feels great or not great, whatever, right?
Yep.
But technically, we're not running for the door. That's the difference. We're actually in a
But
state
surely
of.
if it's someone you know, somehow you've invited them.
You could well
to
be.
come
You
and
could be
talk to them.
thinking about that person. You could be physically laying to me going, "Oh, I want to speak to such and such." You wish hard enough it may happen, but it could be your own brain just saying, "Well, you want to do that, so let's do that for you."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's such a funny, and I should really get someone on the show who knows a lot about this stuff, like dreams and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
Leslie, all my dreams involve is a hot tub of marmalade and a large straw.
I thought it was whipped cream and chocolate.
No, that was last week's.
Oh, you change regularly, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
well, with the whole
So I've run out of whipped chocolate and cream.
Yeah, and you're usually in there too, which is
Yeah.
like really
I
horrible.
know, that's why I said it.
with spirits appearing in dreams and stuff, when you come into that, there are certain conditions out there. Like, I know for one, my sister, she's got sleep paralysis, and every time before she wakes up from that sort of condition, she says she's had dreams of people trying to talk to her from the grave and stuff like that. I don't know if it's a combination of both sort of things occurring at the same time, or if it's part of the condition that's causing her mind to play tricks on her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things out there that can cause that sort of stuff happening. Like depression, for one, that can cause that sort of stuff to
Well,
happen
yeah, they
as well.
can play
You know?
tricks with your mind, and
Of course I can.
Well,
Yeah.
even
it's
then,
a way of blocking out what's real, is to dream and think about happier times. If that person makes you happy, you'll dream about them, if that's the way you go. But I just find it hard that if you're not conscious and not aware of spirits or paranormal activity, why would it come to you in a dream when you're not ready for it?
Maybe it's
When you're not
you
receptive
don't
for
have
it.
maybe you don't have a choice.
well, yeah, like it mightn't be that the ghost is, that spirit, that you're wanting that spirit to contact you. But how many stories have you heard about people who have been contacted in dreams by, their dead grandmother or, an uncle who's passed over saying, "Do not hop in your car tomorrow morning
Yeah.
and go to work."
Yeah,
that's
And
right.
they've been in an accident.
And
yeah.
I mean, they're not asking to be contacted, but they're being contacted by the sort of the other world, or the spirit world, to give a warning, because and you mightn't be conscious that something bad's going to happen to you the next day, or not to do something. That's just part and parcel of it.
It is. No, I agree with it. Guess what, guys?
Don't tell me time's up.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it a bit more.
We can talk a bit more if you want.
No, not fun if you're not recording it.
I'm recording this. That's right. It's part of the show. I'm happy to keep going, but I mean, what is it at the end of the day? Do we take I mean, we've all had funny dreams. We've all had instances where you get that second sight of things and you go, maybe I shouldn't do that right now.
Yeah.
Is it someone tapping you on the shoulder, or you've dreamt it, that something's about to go wrong, and so you hesitate, or you have that deja vu thing happening?
Groundhog Day.
Hey? Groundhog
Groundhog
Day
Day.
over and over again. But, this is the wonderful world of the paranormal. These are things we're still trying to find the answers for. This is
that's
why we
I
have
call
these
the
chats.
unexplained.
That's right. And that's why we talk about it, because if you can't talk about it with your mates and your colleagues and other people in the field, what can you do?
Looks pretty boring to me.
That's right.
Everyone's sitting around saying nothing.
That's right. Let's try it. Well, that was interesting.
yeah, that worked well.
Well, you have been listening to The Naked Zombie. And everyone's going to be, oh, we want more of the zombie. You will get some more next week.
Yes.
We have lots to do tonight.
We do.
We do. We have to. We're having an hour show tonight because we have so much to do tonight, and it's getting late. And outside of radio, our normal
Past Andrew's bedtime.
and it's
Way
past.
past my bedtime. Like.
Yes, because
Now
Nookums
it's
has to
drive
be.
to go home.
Yes.
Do we get going to bed before he gets up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No,
getting up before he goes to bed.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us for the zombie again. It's been absolute awesome pleasure, and thank you
has
to our
been.
listeners and our Facebook fans.
Which are now.
Ooh, hang on.
Bring it
Hang
up.
on.
Hang on.
Quick drum roll.
I've got to work this out. This is too technical.
No, just go to the naked zombie.
Oh, here we
I'll
go.
tell you.
It is 7,253.
7,253.
That is awesome, and I can't.
It'll be
thank-
7,300 before next week.
No, well, the thing is, it's not the amount of numbers we get. It's the fact that
Are we getting paid by the numbers?
no, sorry,
Oh, you told me we were.
yeah, only because I wanted you to count each week for some reason. I got someone to pick on.
Oh,
But no, seriously, I just can't thank everyone enough for all the great emails and messages and everything like that we've been getting. It's very humbling, to be honest with you, that we get such a wonderful response from our listeners and friends.
yes.
Out there.
And enemies.
And yes, enemies too, especially yours and mine.
I know. I directed all my mail to you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
I
all right.
appreciate it. Anyway, so in
I even
closing,
changed my name by default to Brad Scott.
Just
Yeah.
clicks the forward button.
Yeah.
it just forwards it on.
Forwards on.
So we'll let young Andrew have a bit of a closing off, mate. Anything you want to add tonight before we say farewell to our audience?
Ooh,
The naked zombie army, as it were.
no, like usual. I've got nothing. But no,
Just like a paranormal investigator. I got nothing.
no. Well, the Naked Zombie app, still working on it for the iPhone version. We've still had a few problems with it, but it will be done.
Not like the
Very
iPhone
soon.
5.
Ha ha ha!
I think that was.
Obviously, you haven't got sponsored with Apple.
No, God, no.
No.
I mean, look, hey, I'll be happy if Apple pay me to shut up. That's fine. I'll go with that. Sorry, keep going.
We'll probably get sued by Apple because we mentioned them now. They sue everyone else.
Great, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It's happening.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
Love your work. Yes.
Yeah.
My
All
name
right.
is
They can
Andrew.
They can take the car on the motorbike and always get another one of those.
Yeah,
You're
thanks,
getting your
Mr.
bike with your
Moneybags.
latex again.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
latex. your Spider-Man spandex suit you wear around the house. Okay, Liam,
No.
anything yet?
I'm
oh.
touching latex, not touching that. I want that.
I guess, yeah, just in closing, we've got next Moonlight Tour tomorrow night. There's
Yes.
still a couple of tickets left, so anyone who's around Brisbane and interested in going on a great tour of South Brisbane Cemetery, just shoot me a quick message on Haunts of Brisbane. We can book you in. So
Love it. Wadsy.
If it's on the net, it must be true.
And like I say each week, on the Naked Zombie, have a good night. Have a safe night. And if you're out investigating, don't get Wadsy to wear the Spider-Man latex suit because seriously, dude, it's not nice.
There's just bulges in the wrong spots.
makes for good photographs.
It does. It's interesting. All right, guys, have a good night. Stay tuned. We'll speak to you all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.